the public safety meeting. Can we have roll call, please?
Alderperson Haggett.
Here.
Alderperson Vanslo.
Here.
Alderperson Yaku.
Here. Okay, we have, everyone saw the minutes from the last meeting, I'm assuming. Do we have a motion to approve, or do we have any changes that need to be made?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on. Discussion and possible action on trap neuter return program for free roaming cats. Okay. We had a lot of emails that went around from our attorney, and the bottom line of what I saw today, and thank you, Tanya, for working on all of this with her as well, was, I don't know if you guys saw the emails or not. So from what I understood today is that if we want to approve this program,
He wasn't on that one.
because of the lack of liability insurance, that we'd have to do it where they would have to find, the best solution for the city would be to find private property owners that would be willing to allow them to trap. That's how I understood what Catherine was saying. For example, the Hanley Place Management, if they'd be willing to let them go on their property to trap, that would be fine. But the city property, due to the slopes, and apparently the road is not a public access road, it would be to the city's best interest not to allow the trapping to happen on that specific parcel of city property. So from where I'm at, it seems that to move forward, we need some cooperation from private property owners. I don't know if that's what, Marty, what you gathered. I don't know who was on that email because I didn't do the quorum. I didn't pay attention.
I see Rich didn't get
I think you're close. I think that what I get out of it is that they want access to be provided on the Hanley property.
Right, which would be private property.
Because it looks like there's a road there, but there isn't someone who's ATVing or four-wheeling there.
Right, but that was the city public access road.
Right, so they want access through the private, and then here it says, however, the council may decide that the value of the program to the city is worth some risk exposure to the city, meaning normally we require liability insurance. In this case, we would be making an exception.
With the waivers. Now, have we talked to Hanley Place, Marty? That was something that we asked you to do.
They were at the meeting. I had talked to them prior to the city council meeting in regards to the program, and they were generally interested in it. And I said that they might have to use their property, but they would be in contact with them, and that's where I left it.
Okay, Tanya, you want to step up to the microphone and name and address again, please?
I'm Tanya Borg from Centuria, Wisconsin. I had not heard anything back from the Hanley apartment management when I had asked the question about access, public access to the area behind the garages yet. So I'm not quite sure where to go with that.
So here's how I see it. I think this board agrees that we want to do this. But I think we have a concern about liability. Mm-hmm. So we have two options. We can make a motion to approve contingent upon Hanley Place agreeing to access through their private property. We can make I guess we have three options. We can make a motion to approve and give them access to the city property with just a liability waiver, or we can make a motion to deny, which I don't think we want to do option 3. So does anyone else think there's any other option out there?
Isn't there an option where we can just set this up so that they can work with private property owners, and that means we have to amend our ordinances and then allow them, then it would be up to them to work with any of the private property owners they want to work with, not just Hanley.
Right.
They could work with any private property owner.
Right.
And the city would be basically out of this.
Yes, I guess that's what I was getting at when I said Hanley, but that would be more general. Is there any other area of the city that you're thinking of working this program?
Well, it appears to me that the cats that are hanging out on the property of the Hanley Road, there are a number of apartment buildings as you go along down that road. We could probably go anywhere along there and get cats, but we knew that Hanley was the Hanley Apartments was an issue because of the elderly people
Okay.
and the cats and wildlife.
So,
I guess I'd be more in favor of kind of the blanket.
yes, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. I just, I didn't word myself, I guess express it properly. So if someone wants to make a motion to go that route, and then working with Marty, I would assume, to assure that they've received permission from the private property owner.
Well, I think what Catherine was suggesting is that it would be something similar to the
The deer.
agreement that the deer management, that they would have to have written permission from the property owner to be there.
Right, and present it to,
Well, the deer management people don't present it to us, but they hold it on file in case
You get a
somebody comes in
complaint.
and says, well, wait a minute, we've got a signed agreement with
Sure.
them and so forth.
okay, that works too. So is there a motion to any effect to,
Yeah,
Move
I'll
this
make a
forward.
motion that we move forward with the feral cat program, allowing them to work with private property owners and amending the ordinances to let that happen. We have to amend several ordinances,
yes, the ordinances recommended by our city
by
attorney.
city attorney.
I'll second that.
Do we need anything else in the motion to make this happen?
No,
before I
what I'll
screw
do
it
is
up?
I'll just let Catherine know that was your wish so she can begin reviewing
Handling.
that, because obviously the full council will have to agree to it first before we continue on.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So now our city attorney will have to work on those ordinances. It'll go to, back to council. I don't know when she'll get it done. I can't say for sure. Hopefully sooner than rather than later, and we can move forward from that.
And
That way it's off the city's liability, and you guys hopefully will be able to do what you need to do.
Right. Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Next, discussion and possible action for additional speed limit on sorry, I got distracted. Discussion and possible action for additional speed limit signs in Red Cedar Canyon. I brought this to the attention of Public Safety after several emails I received from the Red Cedar Canyon Homeowners Association Board. There's already 3 speed limit signs there. They're at each entrance. They feel they want additional signs due to the, and we've addressed the speed limit in Red Cedar Canyon. I don't know how many times Marty and I have looked at it. Of course, then that means there's more signs up, and means there's payment that would have to be made, or money that would have to be spent, but they did offer to pay for the signs. So that puts a twist on things, because rarely you have someone say, well, we'll pay for them, that's how badly we want them. So living in the canyon, I mean, there is a lot of speeding. Whether people will obey the signs as they see more of them, I don't know.
Signs don't make people slow down.
I agree, but if the association wants to take this up and pay for the signs, I don't see why we should say no. It's not going to cost the city.
If they want to pay for them, I guess there's no.
Well, you know, I believe that speed control signs make people slow down. So if they want to pay for one of those, that might even be more effective.
No, I think they just want
Otherwise, it's
speed limit
enforcement.
signs.
How many are there now?
There's 3. You enter there's 3 entrances. Well, there's now 4 entrances to development, but there's 3 main entrances to development, and they're right at the entrances. I thought maybe if we moved the signs a little bit, however, the development is very wide, and the roads are very wide. It's very easy to speed in that development because of that. And it's a cul-de-sac development with one big circle around it. And people do speed through there quite often, to the point where a lot of families have put the little fluorescent green thing saying slow down, children playing, you know, and that seems to help. But this is the whole overall association. People pay dues into this. They voted on it. This is what they'd like to see happen.
Yeah, I think we give them an estimate of what the signs are going to cost, have them pay us, and we'll put the signs up.
Yeah.
I think the other thing you might want to do is get locations that they want to have them put, and that the property owners that live at those locations are agreeable with it. Because I'd hate to have a sign go up and have a property owner start yelling and screaming because they didn't want a sign in front of
Yes,
their
like the
yard.
crosswalk sign that happened. Agreed.
Is it worth putting a trailer out there to see what
We've
kind
done
of
it
speed?
100 times.
I was just kind of curious what the numbers look like.
The numbers are just like any other residential
People
district.
going fast.
You'll get 1 or 2 that are going pretty good speed.
We have just a lot of that development's like a racetrack. I'm not kidding. It's kind of like we've had some drag racing that happened off Hanley Road coming in there. I mean, there's no real good solution to the development. So my thought is they made the request, they offered payment. I could send them an email, work out where they want the signs. make sure they get permission from that homeowner. I mean, technically, the first 10 feet of everyone's homes is an easement that we could put the sign in, but I think it's only right to make sure we don't have a disgruntled homeowner. So, yeah, I can do the legwork if we're okay with that, and then see what they say. And if they choose to change their mind on making payment, then, the motion will be contingent upon their payment, so. So did you make that motion, or?
I can.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
Yes.
put up signs contingent on the Cedar Canyon Homeowners Association making payment and also getting agreement from the homeowners where the sign is going to be put.
I will second that.
Fair enough.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on. My thing locked. That's awesome. Okay. Discussion and possible action on safety on 3rd Street on Halloween night. Again, something I put on the agenda. This has been a debate in the city for quite some time. What was requested upon me was for the city to consider closing 3rd Street on Halloween night during trick-or-treating, around, I think, 6 p.m. it was, or 5:30, after cars get home from work, until like 9 o'clock at night or what have you. I kind of thought it was the same as any other street. I'm like, well, I live in a subdivision with thousands of kids, I mean, oh my gosh. I went there this year trick-or-treating just to see for myself. I've never seen such insanity. And I know there have been other streets in the city like this, and I know other streets will say we want our streets closed too. I get it. But people come in from the township, people come in from the city, there's no trick-or-treating on 1st or 2nd Street, so everyone comes up there.
And nobody comes to my house because they're all on 3rd Street.
Right, everyone goes to 3rd Street. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So I thought, okay, well, we'll take a look at it, because as a mother of a kid that's 9, 8, and 5, I've been out trick-or-treating for I don't know how many years, and I've never seen anything like it. So, and in my, like I said, I live in this up in an area where it's all young families. So I don't know. I know this is a hot issue, and I know it's a hot issue because I'm sure Grandview would like to have it closed off, or another, big street, would like to be closed off. And I get that we can't do that for every street, but this street goes all out. I've never seen the decorations like that. It's like that is their thing. So the request was to have it closed off from, I think Orange Street is the first street in, off Vine, Elm Street to
River or whatever.
River.
Elm to River, so
Or Pine Street. There's really
you want to cut off St. Croix Street as well?
not going.
They must cross
Not
St. Croix
going-
anyway.
Not going east-west. They want the cutoff to be north-south.
I understand that, but if you're running from Elm to Pine or River Street, that crosses St. Croix. So are we going to have 2 sections of that road blocked off and let St. Croix Street continue? Because St. Croix Street's a main thoroughfare.
I don't know. I don't know the best solution. I'm just throwing it out here for us to discuss this.
So is there an official request here? You just,
There was an official request, yes, by parents, and there was people from up in my neighborhoods that were trick-or-treating down on 3rd Street. I've never.
Are the parents requesting it the ones that live on 3rd Street?
A lot of parents they've been requesting it for years. They've made a couple of requests.
yeah, people talked about it early on.
Oh yeah, and they've come before to try and get it blocked, and
Because of me, I would think I would have to buy a whole bunch more candy in order to suffice. You know what I mean?
some people buy 1,200 pieces of candy just to hand out that night on that street.
Or I know people bought 4,000 pieces of candy.
And it
They give
goes.
out 2 or, yeah, totally.
And it all goes. That's how many.
the draw.
And the church has a big thing there, and it's just, it's crazy.
Well, it seems like Elm to St. Croix would be a good place to start.
Elm to St. Croix, not cut off past St. Croix.
Well,
Well, I'm okay. I
I don't
just
think blocking St. Croix Street's a good idea,
right,
frankly.
right. I'm fine. I'm fine. I just think we should attempt to maybe try and make it a little safer. The other problem is all the cars are parked in the street that come up to visit. They all come up to trick. They all park in the street, so there's all this blind cars are driving past, and I got there at 6, and I thought that was busy, and then by the time 7 o'clock hit, I was scared to let my children run off. I wouldn't be able to see them. You just can't go up the street without, it's just, I've never seen anything like it. I'm still in shock from it.
Seems to.
It's like post-traumatic stress for me.
Yeah.
So you're going to block off east and west, then how about the cross streets, north and south, going all the way up?
Well, if we don't block St. Croix, then I think we could do that. Just block, like make it one big block situation, if it's those streets.
But you'd have to block up the north-south though, too.
You have to block
Right.
out
So you
north.
couldn't go north-south.
Right, so basically you
West,
can't
north,
drive
south
on,
streets
you
that
can't
cross the-
drive on that specific area until, you know, and you know, we can post the day before, 2 days before, these will be blocked, you know, with the cones, like we do for leaf, when we trim trees and stuff, you know.
How are the folks gonna access that area then, if the street's closed?
They'll have to park and walk.
Well, they'll park and walk on side streets.
I mean, that's a good point.
And if we close it after,
But now you're putting all that parking that was on Third Street
On somebody
is
else's.
now it's going on somebody else's street.
right, but the trick-or-treaters all trick-or-treat on Third Street. They
But
don't,
if they're parking somewhere else, the trick-or-treater's gonna be going somewhere else. If they can't
No,
follow their
the-
kids and they can't park close, and what are the other people in the other neighborhoods gonna say? Well, now I've got everybody parking in front of my house, but I don't have trick-or-treaters? I'm just bringing
yeah,
those
I
up
get
for
it, but I
discussion.
don't know if people trick-or-treat up and down the other streets. They're all on Third Street.
They do.
I know, but it's not
I know
as,
people,
not
this
as
is my
common.
district, so I don't know, it's always kind of managed itself, so I don't know why we really, how many people are requesting it, and then, you know, I mean, does it really need to change, I guess is my question.
Well, I think it's gotten busier through the years, and I think people are starting to get concerned. I had some people even that night say, this is crazy, it's so dangerous now, and I don't know, I just was, never seen anything like it, is all I'm saying. I don't know if it's something we can try for a year and see what happens. I don't know if it's something we even want to do. I just said I would bring it to the committee to discuss and go from there.
My personal feeling is I don't think it's something government should try to control or legislate to the people. Let them have their freedom, and if they want to go to Third Street and trick or treat, let them do it.
Oh, I'm not trying to block them from
No,
trick
no,
or
I
treating.
know,
I'm
but-
trying
But I
to.
mean, we're trying to intervene in a natural phenomenon. It's-
Isn't it
it's
possible
created
to,
itself.
can't they apply for a block
Block
party?
Could apply for a permit. if they want.
For a permit, so they would be the ones sort of instituting it rather than us.
So, if they apply for a block party permit, and is that? I mean, that's going to come back to us anyways. But I mean, like,
Well, the block party permit.
no,
doesn't
it
come
won't.
back.
It'll go to Public Works.
And then Public Works will check with the other public safety agencies to make sure that there wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's fine, and I can tell people that.
Yeah, there's a process in place for
Yeah.
them to do this. if they
Yep,
want
I
to.
didn't know if we could block multiple blocks like that, if they can do that through a block party.
They could do it
permit.
on each block and then just be careful crossing, you know, what I mean,
Well,
so.
we've done it for National Night Out, north of St. Croix Street, from there all the way to Pine,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I
Okay,
like-
well
I
then,
like that idea.
that's the
permit.
idea I will suggest back to them, and that's why I wanted to bring it to committee, because I wanted to know, I wanted us to brainstorm what we could do best for them, so I don't have a problem with that, I can send that, bring that back to them as an idea, and they can go from there. Perfect, thank you.
Good idea.
Great idea, guys. You guys are so smart.
I don't know about that.
So, anyways, back on okay, that's great, thank you. Okay, we put on since the last council meeting, discussion and possible action to use capital spending for police video cameras and replacing handguns. Am I the only one who did not realize this was taken off the capital budget?
You were on finance, I had no idea.
I didn't know it was taken off.
Okay, so
I mean,
apparently,
maybe I missed it. Maybe something.
I felt like I
I think
missed
we all
it.
missed it, because I didn't see it either.
Everything
Yeah,
else
and
got approved, that
I
nothing
was
came
told
off
we
the
voted
EMS
on it, and I don't
or
even
anything.
recall that part of it, so that's why I'm
Yeah, I
a
don't.
little shocked.
I was surprised.
Okay, so let's go through this step by step, because we have to crunch some numbers here quickly. So, the handguns, how much was that on the capital budget? 9,000?
Well, I've got it in here. Currently, right now, and this is based off of just information we got from strikers, we're looking anywhere between $6,000 and $7,000. That's including the purchase of the new gun and the trade-in of the old one. So we'll be paying somewhere between $120 to $150 per gun. And these guns normally go for $450.
And
So we're getting a good trade-in and back on it.
And why are we getting new guns?
Well, these older guns are coming up on that 9 to 10 year life cycle, and they're starting to break down. Parts are starting to wear, And the one thing you don't want to have a police officer doing is drawing his weapon and having it malfunction and not work.
And are we replacing every gun in the department?
Every gun in the department will be replaced.
And does this ever come out of their, I'm asking these questions because they were asked of me, so this is me trying to get all the answers out there so we have them. Are they normally purchased out of their uniform budget? Is that part of the uniform budget?
These are weapons that we issue to the officers, so when they leave, the weapon comes back to us. This is not,
Okay.
this is a department-issued weapon.
So this is, we said between $5,000 to $6,000?
$5,000 to $6,000. If we were to buy them outright, we're looking somewhere around the $12,000 range, 10 to 12.
Okay.
So we're looking at, if I did my calculations right, we're working just over $6,100.
Okay, so we got to make, I want to do these separate. So I want to make a motion to get $6,000 for handguns put back on the finance committee agenda to get back, to be placed back into the capital budget for 2014. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so when it goes to finance, did you get all that information? Yeah. Okay. I'm serious. I'm being very, I know I'd like
We'll
to
be
joke,
there.
but I'm being very serious. Okay, now let's talk about the computers.
I mean, the cameras.
The cameras, excuse me. I do have a conflict with some of it, as you know. Marty knows. I think we're going to have to look at what we want more here, and I might be wrong because finance might surprise me, but it's between lapel cameras or cameras in the car. I don't know if we'll get both or any. I'm in favor. Now, the question is this. Here's the questions again asked of me. The software cost, the additional cost in software for cameras between lapels and cameras in the car. Also, what's more beneficial between the two?
Well, the microphone, the personal cameras that the officers wear, lapels or tie clip mounts, are nice because if you go into a house, and obviously like for a domestic or a fight or a bar fight or something, you actually have if the camera's on, you actually have a view of it. You can actually see what's going on. You're away from the squad car. The kind of the disadvantage with those is that the officer, when he's in a hurry, he's got to remember he's got to turn that thing on. It doesn't automatically come on like an in-squad video. If you turn on your lights, that camera system comes on. And it also has what they call a 10-second pre-recording. It's always recording, but it doesn't capture everything. It'll delete it off, but they'll capture 10 seconds before you turn on. So if, say, like you're at a stoplight and all of a sudden a guy runs a red light in front of you and you hit the lights, well, it got the guy going through the red light in front of you because it's captured the 10 seconds. That also helps for high-speed chase, traffic stops, OWIs, drunks, and so forth. The problem with the lapel mic, if you're in a high-speed chase, and we've been testing some down at the police department, if you're a small officer like Tracy Hall, all you see is the top of the steering wheel. That's all you see. So it's kind of hard to have a high-speed chase and see something going on like that. The lapel mics obviously have
Poor Tracy. We got to get her a booster.
But they do have their purposes, and we are looking at some other options in those as well. But the price range run anywhere from $800. You know, if you're going to look at one that's going to be functional, it's going to be a good working system, anywhere from that $800 to $1,000 price range. I know Minneapolis is buying about 25 of them, and they're spending about $25,000 on the system. And then when you buy the cameras, you got to get a server, a dedicated server just for downloading the videos, because you've got to hang on to the videos a minimum of 120 days. But if it's kept for evidence, for like a trial or something like that, you can hang on to it much longer.
So is that just for the lapel cameras you have to do that, or for the car?
Both of them. Because if we try to put them on our server now, it would eat up all the room we have on it.
So let's say the lapel cameras by themselves would cost how much?
Roughly in that 20 to 22,000 range. No, this is just an estimate. I haven't gotten quotes.
Right. I know we're doing estimates here tonight. So and the cameras in the car would cost.
Depending on the model you get, they run anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000
a car
per unit.
So and we're going to outfit every car with that.
Oh no.
11?
Okay.
11 squad cars.
Here.
Okay. And we have how many squads now? 17?
We have 17. We'll be down to 16. But I'm only going to outfit the patrol cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
The patrol officers.
Now, that software, how often does it have to get updated, replaced?
The software doesn't, once it's in the server, it just stays there. It stays there
Right,
the
but I'm
entire
saying
time.
2-3 years from now, are we going to say we need to get different computers is going to cost us another $95,000 because,
Well, it's just like any other technology. Computers change, camera
Right.
systems change.
and then what about with the lapel? Same thing?
Yeah, the same thing. I remember when we first started using video cameras in the squad cars, they were the small VHF ones that you had to pop the tape out, and then we had to put that in a storage. Now we're up to digital. It's recording and saving it right on. And sometimes some of the systems save them right onto the laptop computers in the squads and then downloads them when you get into the police department.
Okay, so what's everyone's take on the whole package we have here of estimated between 95 and 100,000 for both? I definitely am a fan of the lapel ones after an recent experience I had. So for sure, I think that's good. I understand why the car cameras would also be important. I know we've been trying to get these cameras for a couple of years now.
Longer than that.
I think there's been many improvements still since. That's one of the things that have been why the vote's been getting shot down is because how many times are we going to have to change over to software? How much is that going to cost us all the time? I understand. John's doing this. I get it. As that, I'm just saying what the concerns are that have been expressed over past years with council.
Well, what's the liability of not having a camera? It's kind of the way I look at it. Is this more like a risk management scenario? That's part of it, meaning we get to cover our own tracks, but in addition to that, from evidence and other things you get with video,
Right, well, the liability obviously is if an officer's accused of doing something illegal or immoral or something along those lines, it's caught on tape. So you can always bring that forward. And
Okay.
There's been several cases where people have brought false claims against officers, the Wisconsin State Patrol, for example, and they'll show the person the video, and the next thing you know that the situation's rectified itself.
Okay, so here's another question I have. Can that video replace an officer going to court for a day?
Well, that's the other savings to it. If, you got a drunk driving case, and if you've got the driver going down the road and he's weaving all over the place, and then you do field sobriety tests and he can't stand up, and you got that on video, well, you show that, usually they're going to plead those cases because if you show that to a jury, they're going to go, yeah, he's intoxicated, versus your word against my word.
So it'll save us time on.
Correct.
Absolutely.
That's a.
For my money, I think that the patrol car are probably the biggest savings how many people do we pull over in a car versus the houses and things that we go to?
We get a lot of house incidences with domestics and stuff. We get a lot.
Domestics and so forth like that, I think we get out of the car a lot more.
And we have a lot of major things that have happened in the past that if we would have those lapel cameras, it would have taken care of a lot of legal fees for us, which is one of those.
But we also do arrest a lot of drunk drivers. We arrest a lot of second, third, fourth, and fifth offense drunk drivers, and a lot of those go to court, and they go to court for a long period of time, versus if we had the system in place, we've already got the video.
In the police budget, court, is that overtime for us, or is that regular time?
That's overtime.
Okay. The more we're talking about this, the more it seems to me that we probably should spend the money up front to save some money at the end. And I don't know why we haven't been able to pass this through council, I think, or even get this to stay on the budget. It's been cut from the budget every year. I haven't been on finance to defend it, but I also many times have been a lone soldier at full council.
Can't we just send this to council rather
No,
than go to
always
finance?
has to go through finance.
The thing is that I can also get you the numbers and how much it might have saved us in court time over.
Yes, I think that would be wise. We need overtime, how much we could save in overtime. We need how much court, we have somebody sitting in court versus being on the streets.
Do we have a major case that we could use as an example of where a camera would have saved us a lot of time and effort, or given us a conviction where maybe we didn't
Or
get
how about a major complaint?
Well, I would imagine there will be some that'll be in there. In fact, I had a lady call me the other day, was upset she got a ticket for a stop sign violation. She wanted to view our video camera system of it because she said that she didn't do it, and I told her we didn't have one, and she started yelling at me about it. But
you know what case we could? You know what case we could maybe use, without saying the name, is what I'm talking about up on. You know who I'm talking about.
Not unless you give me a little more information.
Seems vague.
It's gone to Police and Fire Commission how many times?
True.
I think that's the case we should use.
Yep.
And show because the city has spent so much money on this case, and if we had lapel cameras, it would have saved us a lot of time.
Yep. And then we've had certain individuals in town that the lapel mics would have been a lot better
Yeah.
suited for that.
So are we saying we want both?
I'm saying, I think after talking with overtime, and I'm
I
sure
tend to agree.
I'm sure I'll get a phone call later, but I definitely think we should go for both again. I think it needs, I mean, we asked, I think, for a whole total of like $120,000 in the capital budget. We did not ask for very much. Where Public Works asked for 1.1 million. The way I see it, our police deserve a little bit of some, assistance. I mean, I think it's going to save an overall cost.
Not even court cases, but just officer safety. What happened prior to
No
the
kidding.
officer getting hit over the head who ran up against the,
Right. Right, and you know what? Some say that maybe an officer doesn't want a camera on him because you never know, but that also might protect the officer in certain things too. It goes both ways, and it might actually keep officers in check if they do have a hot head. I don't know, but I don't really think any of our officers have a real hot head on them.
No,
I haven't
I don't
heard
think so
anything
either.
like that.
There's that liability both ways.
Yes.
Protecting the officer and then protecting the city as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think it's about due time that we we put our foot down as public safety and get this passed.
You're right.
All right, but
Is that a
we
motion?
need some finance assistance. If you can't handle the job, Rich,
I'll have to pass it on to someone.
I'm just kidding. All right, I'm going to make the motion to put both the entire camera system. It's going to be between 95 and for $100,000. We'll say that'll be enough
That should be plenty.
on the capital outlay budget for 2014. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Very nice. Let's see what happens at finance. Thank you for that. All right. Back to EMS, fire department, police department updates. We're going to start with fire department today.
This is my last official meeting, public safety meeting, in official capacity. I may be here for other things, who knows. I'd like to thank the community for allowing me to serve the community in the capacity as fire chief for the last 13 years. It's been a wonderful experience for me. I'd like to also thank the community and the council people for the support of the department, and I hope they continue to support the department under the new administration. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for your service. We appreciate it. You've done a fine job. Dave?
Wait, I got two things just want to bring up to the public. It's on TV. It's the end of the year now, so it's a good time to take a little housekeeping look around your house for checking the batteries in your smoke detectors. CO alarms, they've probably been in there for at least 6 months. Housekeeping in the basement, combustibles near flammable objects, water heaters, housekeeping. No candles again, only in sturdy containers. Christmas lights, Christmas trees. I don't know, I often wondered, and I haven't got any statistics on this, real trees versus fake trees. How many people got? I think it's about 50-50 myself. But again, make sure you check all your lights before you put them on the trees, that the cords are not frayed or coming apart. And again, the use of candles in sturdy containers, and never leave candles lit after you go to bed. Make sure you blow something out. And a good thing to do after a party, the last person up goes through the house when it's dark, and if they forget to blow a candle or something out, that'll stick out like a sore thumb in a dark house, and they should be able then to do that, take care of that. We also completed all the fire drills at all the schools for the fall season. We'll do it again in spring, supervised. We dumped the high school in less than 3 minutes, the entire high school and faculty out. And the grade schools, usually we dump within 1 to 2 minutes, depending upon what grade school it is. Bigger ones, a couple more, but so everything is around 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, 1 to 3 minutes, so which is very, very good.
Can we also mention fire safety and winter and snow to keep your outside pipes clear? Some of the pipes that stick out from the homes, like for carbon monoxide and stuff, if they get covered with snow,
Vent pipes.
vent pipes.
Keep it from
And,
snow, yep.
and if you have a fire hydrant in your yard,
They can
to
shovel
clear
that
out.
if they wish. We don't know what this winter's going to bring, but it started early, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, so to clear those fire hydrants if they're in your front yard, so that if there's a fire, our department can get to them more easily. Otherwise, you will see a grader come in and do it for you.
Yeah, and you may not like the results.
Right, especially if you have an in-ground sprinkler system.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Also, just piggybacking, Jim, it's been a good run as the fire inspector, working with the fire chief. He and I have had wonderful relations here over the years, and I think we've accomplished a lot, hopefully for the good.
yes.
And I wish him well in his future endeavors.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you both. Kim?
I don't have too much, actually. We actually got to be a part of the fire drill up at the Hudson Prairie Elementary School last week, or 2 weeks ago when we were up doing talks for the middle school kids. We talked to them about what we do, how we respond, stories that they want to hear, and just a little bit about EMS, so that was kind of fun. To piggyback on with them, if you have anyone around you that you know has a sidewalk or driveway that can be cleared off, or you can clear it off for them, please do so, because if we can't get to you in a medical emergency, we have to try and find someone to shovel to. So please try and keep those clear as well.
Great.
And don't shovel them into the street.
And don't shovel them into the street.
Yes, I received a picture today from
Yeah,
Public
I did.
Works. That was nice.
Snowballing into the street.
That was
You
awesome.
can't do that?
No.
Checking, just checking.
It was in my district.
You got a rough district
I
up
got a
there.
tough
Tough
district.
neighborhood.
Marty?
Couple things, fire EMS and the police department, along with all administrators from the school district, were at a tabletop exercise on November 15th, I believe, in regards to active shooter training. The school district has really been ramping up their program. It was very good exercise, good talking points. The school district saw where we were coming from and some of the deficiencies that they might have in their area, so they're working on those. Our plan is for sometime maybe next summer to do a full-scale, large shooting situation or exercise, that's the one I'm looking for, at one of the schools here in town, just to, sharpen our skills. Obviously, that's something we don't want to see happen, but we've got to prepare for it anyway, and I think it's a good opportunity for all of us to work closely together. So it was a good discussion that day, so it worked out very well. I will hopefully have the figures for finance and the safety, or the council meeting for Monday on the lease agreements. Those numbers are in. I just had to have Catherine double check them real quick to make sure the contract's good, so that should be there. I should also have the bids in for the 2 new squad cars. They're due tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. So we should have those done. I'll have those at finance. I will not be at the finance or council meeting next Monday. I will be out of town, so.
Oh, you're killing us.
I know. You're on your own, Lori. Or Mary. Sorry about that.
Doesn't matter.
We will be doing interviews starting on the 18th for the investigator's position internal. I currently have 3 people that have applied for the position. I will know who that is. They'll start probably sometime after the first of the year. I have given an offer to a candidate for their replacement to start after the first of the year. I'm going to meet with them next Wednesday and discuss it with them. They haven't officially accepted the offer yet, but
For detective?
no.
For patrol?
But fill the officer that would be taking the detective's position
Oh, patrol. Off the
off the eligibility list.
eligibility list?
That was
Okay.
extended. So I will have to start a new eligibility list starting in January, so we'll be going through that.
Yeah.
The other thing is just to remind everybody, I know we had our first snowfall event last night. They declared it about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 inches of snow or better. You got to keep the cars off the streets. I've seen a few cars out there. I'm not sure how many vehicles we ticketed last night. I hope it's not a lot, but just want to remind everybody you got to stay off the streets if we get 2 inches more snow.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Okay, so we have information items. There's nothing there. I would just like to tell Marty that I think I'd like to thank Marty and Officer Wildman and Officer Johnson. I think there was an incident that involved my family, and I think they did an excellent job. And I just want that on the record that I was very appreciative of how they handled it and their discretion, especially Officer Wildman, how he handled the events. He questioned whether I would think that was professional of him or not. I thought it was very professional of him, and I just wanted to say that publicly. It was a very difficult time for me, and they were very, very respectful of me as a citizen at that moment, and handled it quite professionally. So I just wanted to thank them publicly for that. So do we have any other items for future agendas? No.
And that I can think of.
Yeah,
Anybody? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.